Oh, my God. All right, welcome to Ken Vaughan's Freak Show.
That's right.
Episode 1. And there's Ken Vaughan. What do you have to say about the Ken Vaughan's Freak Show? Are you happy to have your own show now?
About time.
About fucking time, exactly.
Yeah. What the hell are you laughing at?
And tonight's guest is the greatest ambassador for peace and love in Buffalo history, Richard Jaszewski. Let's have a big round of applause for Richard.
Thank you. You are my friends, and you are my friends if you worship my radio station.
We do.
Good.
Why do you love Buffalo so much?
Well, you could start off. Well, why do I love Buffalo? Well, mostly.
I'm sorry, we have to play Tom Stahl now.
Yeah, well, let's do a little Tom Stahl here because I got the chorus of it set here.
I know what I know. I know what I know. I get all my information from Fat Guys on Radio.
Fat Guys on Radio.
I get all my information from Fat Guys on Radio.
Fat Guys on Radio.
He's such a ladies' man, doing all that he can, making sure he's got a lady everywhere abroad should be. He's not a homophobe, mapping out some flat globe. Every road upon it goes as far right as right can be.
Can I move this light thing?
Yeah.
It's
hot though. It's hot though.
It's hot.
It's hot.
It's hot.
You can move it though. It's hot though. Don't fuck it up.
How about if I let you move it? You've been here longer than I have. I just want to clear my. Just want people to see the radio station here.
Fat Guys on Radio.
Fat Guys on Radio.
All my information from Fat Guys on Radio.
Fat Guys on Radio. Okay.
So anyway, there's these fat guys on so-called Buffalo radio stations. They clip-clop their way into this area over here one day.
What the fuck are you talking about, Richard?
And they said, I want something that makes me feel comfortable. And I said, try Wyoming. And then
So you know the reason we had you on Ken Vaughan's Freak Show, you're the first guest, is because you're a freak, right?
I hope
that,
so.
Right?
I hope so. And also, if you've seen my cable access TV shows,
did you ever hear of Sal Monaco?
Yeah.
Because you're a lot like him. You immediately go right into plug
mode.
You immediately go right into plug mode. What about content? What about doing some interesting content before you start plugging?
Okay.
Can't you plug at the end of the show after you've done some content and show what your chops are like?
Well,
right?
I don't know if I'm ever going to get a chance to talk here because I've seen your show, and I know you guys.
You've been on the fucking show before with me.
That was like 10 years ago. And speaking of that,
well, that still counts, does? I was still the same person, wasn't I?
Oh, well, thank you for having me on the air, by the way, here. And since we're on that subject here, so Greg, you come crawling back to me, huh? Ratings. Ratings.
What happened was Richard Wicca said to me, Jaszewski's available. Give him a phone call. I said, what the fuck? I guess I can, you know.
I
like you.
Ratings must be bad. You know, there must be slipping. So you come in here and hide a professional. Come in here
Richard,
and do your
why
job.
didn't you go to my wedding? I invited you. I told you it was a free-for-all rock and roll extravaganza for free with local music.
Oh, well.
Come on, man. Pam Swartz was there. It was free. It was local music. And you didn't come.
What day was this?
What day does it fucking matter now?
Well, because I usually listen to this station here on Thursday nights and on Monday nights and Thursday nights.
So you're saying it was a Saturday night. You're saying
it was Saturday.
So you're saying you don't go to free shows with Pam Swartz with local music because you're listening to the radio? Is that what you're saying?
No, well, let's see. Depending on what day this was. What day was that?
A Saturday.
No, I'm talking what time of year.
It doesn't matter.
Well, because
summer, June. It was late spring, but it might as well have been summer.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. Maybe sickened by you, and yeah, I still invite you on the show. No, I like you a lot. You're a great guy.
I
You're a wonderful gentleman. Why do you love Buffalo so much?
Well, the weather mostly. I came here for the
weather because you left
cool stuff here we got
Miami
right now.
and you like the warm weather. You don't like the warm weather. You like the cold weather.
I hate Miami. I never liked Miami. Even when I was a kid growing up in Whittier, California.
What do you think about?
I never liked.
What do you think about Ken? You like Ken?
It's okay.
All right, that's pretty good.
So
anyway,
this is the first time I've actually met this guy.
Yeah, that's right. You just met him. Ken, what do you think of Richard?
I have seen this guy at the library all my years growing up.
Right.
Really?
All years growing up.
Yeah.
Really?
In the library.
Right.
Really?
All around.
To me.
Have you been to the library before, Richard?
I'm a fixture
Like he
over there.
lives there.
Oh, so you
I've seen him.
So
like,
it makes
around.
sense that he's seen you.
Well,
But when I met him in the car, I didn't know who he was until in the
Right.
kitchen. I was like, that's the guy from the library.
You know why, Richard? You don't recognize Ken? It's because when he's at the library, he wears bum clothing. He doesn't.
Yeah,
he doesn't.
that's true.
Right?
Nah, I don't wear suits.
You don't wear the suits, so
Yeah.
you never noticed him before. He
Nah.
wears bum clothing like sweatpants and
Yeah, like that.
like what I'm wearing. Like Bazinga.
Well, I wouldn't go that
Bazinga. You wouldn't
far.
wear Bazinga though, would you?
Well,
I
a
wouldn't.
little hint. You should have the sweater easily removed. You should have some kind of a sweater with a zipper in the front over here, so that way you can pull it
Like
off.
Superman.
Yeah, that way you
Yeah.
can look at it, because otherwise,
So this is the worst moment of my life. I'm getting fashion tips
from me.
from this gentleman. From this gentleman. Yeah, he's giving me fashion tips. The guy who's got WBNY underneath that shirt. It's tattooed on his fucking chest. WBNY 91.3 FM.
Almost. But anyway,
But
again,
anyways, back to you, Richard.
yeah, yes, back to me again.
Let's give you a lot of time to talk. Go ahead.
Okay, so anyway, like I said, but why do I love
blah,
Buffalo?
blah, 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 blah.
Aside from the, okay.
No, I care
Birdie's
about
Birdie's
I care
flying in my
deeply about what you're saying. Go ahead.
So, like I said, along with the weather here, I found out about the local music scene, namely from this radio station here, WBNY, because,
Right.
and I've been.
Were you ever a DJ on there?
No.
Oh, that's your wet dream, though, right?
It could be.
You'd ejaculate to that,
I wouldn't mind that because, like I said, I have a lot of music that the local show that they have on WBNY Thursday nights from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m.
Thank God you're plugging again for someone else.
Oh, yeah. Well, hey.
Richard, why did you play Tom Stahl's Fat Guys on the Radio at the beginning of the show?
Because my main.
I love that song.
Oh, well,
But why'd you play it? Because we're fat guys on TV right now or YouTube. We're not on radio.
Yeah. Well, because I hate.
Not you. I mean, me and Richard are fat. Ken is thin. Let's look at him right
Yeah,
now.
I know.
Let's look at him. He's very thin. Okay. He has no weight on him practically. Okay, back to you, Richard. Why did you play Fat Guys on Radio when we're on video right now?
Well, because
Because you know, video killed the radio star.
Well, not quite. Not quite. Not as long as I live. But anyway, for years I've been dealing with the radio stations in Buffalo over here because I hate their programming because they don't support the Buffalo music scene like they claim they do. And their idea of claiming the Buffalo music scene is to wait for summertime to come up when they have all these concerts, weekly concerts or whatever else, and they stand up on the stage and go, "Hello, Buffalo!" And that's all the support they give for Buffalo.
Those concerts are usually free, though.
Yeah, well,
So that's good.
but they don't.
You're not anti-free concerts, are you?
No,
Well, there you go then.
But I still would like to hear these musicians on the radio stations because.
But what does it do with Fat Guys on the Radio, the song, the lyrics?
Well,
What does
because
that do?
I'm against these radio stations because basically they don't support Buffalo like they claim to do.
So that's what Tom Stahl's singing about in that song? He's singing
part of it. Part of it's like
what
that.
lyric does he say that's relevant to that?
Gets his info from the statement there is get all my information from Fat Guys on Radio.
Yeah, he's talking about like Rush Limbaugh and people that are doing the morning jock shows and that kind of thing.
Well,
It has nothing to do with what you're talking about.
well,
Tom Bowerly, too?
And Tom Barley, who's a fat guy on the radio. That's
No
right.
way.
Tom Barley's a very fat guy on the radio.
well, I consider these all fat
so-
guys on radio because they all
Fat
sit there
guys on
and criticize
radio.
because they all criticize. They've been criticizing the Buffalo musicians for years. They never play any of their music on the radio stations. I've been on a one-man crusade with my cable access TV shows, beating on these people
Where do
over
you
and
do the
over
cable
again.
access TV show?
Right here.
You do it here?
Yeah.
Really?
No, I'm sorry. Like the cable access TV. No, I do that at the Apollo Media Center. I'm sorry.
Oh, of course. Powell Media Center in the
Yeah.
hood.
Well, like I said, it's the best place I can do it, and
That's beautiful.
And I'm able to buy tapes and whatever else, but there's changing.
Tapes?
The DVC Pro tapes.
What year are you living in? Tapes? Tapes?
Hey, I'm still.
What kind
tapes.
of loser are you? Tapes?
Throw it tapes.
Hey, I can only afford tapes right now. I can't, and I'm gonna have to struggle now to buy DVDs now because now they're changing everything over to DVDs.
You ever see a Blu-ray?
I've heard about them. I don't know anything about them.
Ken, you ever seen a Blu-ray?
Why are you picking on this guy for?
I'm not
It's
picking
your
on
guest and
him.
you're picking on him.
I'd like to apologize on behalf of Ken Vaughan.
I tell you, don't
and
get
Ken
no
Vaughan's-
respect. No respect at all. No respect.
You don't deserve it. Ken Vaughan's Freak Show, and Ken Vaughan likes to run a polite shop. Go ahead, Ken. Why don't you praise Richard or be nice to him? Go ahead. I want to see. I'll put the double camera on you so you can do it together. Praise him or be nice to him or something, or be neutral.
I'm just saying,
I'm treating him badly?
Well, I mean,
Am I treating him badly? Richard,
what's wrong with tapes?
You don't think I'm treating you badly, do you?
I still record on tapes at home.
Are you? I'm sorry. You were saying something about that. I'm sorry.
Am I treating you badly?
Were you saying something about that? I don't know.
Just because I said you were a loser for having tapes? It was a joke.
I record on tapes at home.
So you thought you were a loser. This is kind of like this conversation in the car. I say that people with tapes are losers. So Ken, I'm talking about Richard, and Ken gets offended because Ken uses tapes. He's old-fashioned. And in the car, coming over here, guys. You were there for this. And my wife says, Too bad you eat those shit fucking cookies that suck. Chewy Chips Ahoy. I wish you ate some good cookies. And I say, well, they sell millions of them around the country. And she says, well, yeah, but that's because people are stupid. People who like Chewy Chips Ahoy cookies are stupid. And
It's
I
the
said,
chewy ones.
And I said, you're calling me stupid because I love them. You just said I love them. And she's like, well, I'm calling people stupid. You're okay. That's the same fucking thing. Am I right, Richard? Am I right, Ken?
Well,
Mr.
you're her husband. You're not really stupid. You're her husband.
Oh, what a bunch of bullshit. Right to the moon, Ken. One of these days, right to the moon.
Hey, what was that little stick you did before the show about pray?
Oh, okay. You want me to do this for? I'm sorry. I told you. Remind me. Okay. There's this wonderful person named Jim Prey. We're like this, right? You know. And
You sure you can do this?
why not?
Well,
Why can't I do it? What am I doing? Okay. This is what Jim Prey always says to me, and he says it in this way. When you are going through hell like I've been for the last 57 years, hell, keep going. That's all it is. Is that good enough for you? Not enough. What? I didn't put enough
Hell,
effort.
keep going. What do you mean?
That was the same thing I did. You wanted me to see again. It's some kind of quote, you know. If you're in hell, keep going. You know, if you're in hell, keep going. You're having a bad time in life, keep going. Don't die. If you're in hell, you know, my life's hell. Keep going.
Oh.
And I just repeated it for you. That wasn't good enough. I repeat what you want, and then you ask a question like I did. You should have been fucking applauding that I did it. Anyways, this is a special night here because, well, you know. The reason this is Ken Vaughan's Freak Show for the first time is
Because he didn't want it.
because I didn't want it. I didn't want it to be my freak show, and
And they won't give it to
Zewski
me.
won't. I won't give it to him because
I'm the guest. I'm just
he's
a
It'll be another
Yeah,
10 years before you're back.
yeah,
another 10 years for you.
I'm just a lowly
So,
guest, you know.
anyway,
I know, you know.
You're just a lowly guest.
Oh, my God.
But this is the end of an era because about a year and a half ago we started a show called Siraki Sterlace. And you remember that, Ken, right? Siraki Sterlace?
Yeah, what's the end of it? Or?
Because Tim's gone. He's over.
He's gone?
He's kaput, yeah.
Why? How
Well,
do you know
because
it's
he-
good? For good.
How do I know it's for good? Because when people run out, here's what happened the last time he quit on me. Last time he quit on me, I got in the car with him and my brother Mark, and we got in the car with him. This is back in
King of the Jews?
The King of the Jews in the '90s. My brother's the King of the Jews, and then Siraki's he's an engine. So we get together in his car, and he says, "Wait a minute." Your brother, he was on recently. He was on last week. He sucks. I'm not doing a whole fucking show with your shit ass brother. Get the fuck out of my car now.
What?
And we left the car. And he never came back for 20 years. And 20 years later, he came back, right? And then we were doing the show at Siraki Sterlace. We brought in our sidekick, Ken Vaughan, right? We brought you in, and then we brought in Amy and Michael. Remember Amy and Michael, Ken?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and now they're gone, of course. They gave up on it.
Jeez.
And what happened was that little by little, Amy got bored with Tim, and Michael got bored with Tim. And the thing is also, my wife won't come on the show because she always says, well, I don't like the way Tim handles the show. And meanwhile, every show, this is what Ken Vaughan here says. Wish we get a fucking new host. Wish we get a fucking new host. Is that true or not?
Really. Well, it was
Wish
just
we get a fucking new host.
Because he's concentrating on his phone. He wasn't
Right, he's on
operating
He's
the
looking
thing.
at his phone. He's like this. This is how he does the show. Okay, you guys just talk amongst yourselves. And
He wasn't operating
Hey, I got a
the
text from
camera.
him. I got a text from him. Let's read it on the air. I got 2 texts from him. Here we
did?
go. This is live.
Oh.
This is live television.
Yeah. Historic moment here.
I told you he quit. Listen to this. Yeah, that was it for me. I'm reading Tim Siraki's goodbye speech right now.
Can you show it on the camera?
No, but I'm going to read it. I'll show you. It's real. I'm not making it up. Look at this. Can you see? It's real.
Go ahead. I trust
Can
you.
you look
see
at
it.
it? Can you see it's Tim Siraki saying, yeah, that was it? Can you see it?
I gotta take a look at it here.
Can you see that I'm not
yeah,
lying?
that was it for me.
I'm not lying, right?
Yep.
Go ahead.
Got it?
I trust
Okay.
you.
All right. Well, he doesn't trust me. Sorry. I went off again. Okay, here we go. Let's see. That was it. Here we go. Tim Siraki. Yeah, that was it for me. Don't know how much more I could take of your disorganized bullshit anyways. He's talking about my disorganized bullshit because he's the king of organization. You just made it a hell of a lot easier tonight with your insults. My time is my time, and I don't need freaks like you dictating shit to me. Enjoy. Paula, Richard, get in here. Paula, Richard, there's an emergency. I'm not
emergency.
Get in here, there's an emergency. You're missing the fun here. Please have a seat. Let's join the team here. I mean, let's get.
Oh,
Oh, we gotta move this thing around. Yeah.
there we go.
On B, yeah.
Get it here?
Let's see if I can.
Yeah, he should be able to fit it.
Nope.
And the
There you go.
Cavalcade of All-Stars. There we go.
Up.
There you go.
There they are. Okay. I want you to be here. This is my wife Paula here on the left, and Richard on the right on your camera. And
The camera's moving.
yeah, hold that fucking camera.
I'm sorry.
Just hold it. No, hold it.
I got him. Hold
Okay.
it.
So, anyways, back to me for a second. As you know, I'm talking about Tim Saracki giving up on me, right? And luckily, I looked. Ken says. He always says, Tim's a shit host. I wish we get a new host, right?
I didn't say
and then Ken said, well, he's always looking at his phone in the middle of the show. He sits down, looks at his phone. So I pull my phone out, which I never would have done because I'm doing the show, and I pull it out, and he got 2 texts from him. I'm thinking this is going to be the goodbye text. And here we go. You want to hear the goodbye text?
Yeah.
He has just texted me the goodbye. I told you it was over because I said, what did I say to him? I'll tell you what I said to him. This is what stopped the show forever. I said, what the fuck is your hurry on Saturday nights? What are you doing on Saturday nights? That's so important. One time, I had a lovely lady on the show. Her name was Suzanne K. Taylor, and I said, Suzanne, where the fuck is all your money coming from? And she said, hey, you asked me that on the show. Where the fuck is all my money coming from? So I took it down with Tim. I took it down a level. I didn't say anything about money. I didn't make it too personal. I said, what are you doing on Saturday nights that you're always in such a hurry? And he stormed out, never to come back again. And I'm going to read you his final goodbye here. This is like Patton saying goodbye to the troops. Sorry to bore you guys again. You already heard it, but I had to get these 2 in here for this.
I only heard the first part of the first one here.
This is quite a week here at the Home of the Future because I remember earlier in the week, Richard sent someone a birthday card and got a fuck you, Richard, you're a dick.
Hey,
response.
switch
And now-
the camera.
Why? Okay, back to them. Okay. Anyways, here we go. You ready for your reaction shots here? Okay. This is it. I'm going to do Tim Saracki's goodbye speech to me. He blames it all on me, of course. Yeah. That was it for me. Don't know how much more I could take of your disorganized bullshit anyways. This is my disorganized bullshit. Of course, for the most organized man in Buffalo, Tim Saracki, who everyone agrees is Mr. Organization. And of course, I think he's also saying you, Richard, because you're part of the disorganized bullshit. Raise your hand if you agree that you're part of the disorganized bullshit. Richard, well, he's not part of the disorganized bullshit. He won't raise his name, but Paula thinks she is. Okay. All right. So this organized bullshit of mine, he didn't know how much longer you could take of this. I understand his point, Oh, God. Here we go again. You just made it a hell of a lot easier tonight with your insults. With your insults. Here's my insult. What the fuck is your problem? What do you have to do on Saturday night? You're fucking me all the time. My time, this is a classic. This is like Paul Galvin when he quit Failure. Greg, I have no time to waste. I have no job. No time to waste. Meanwhile, Tim has no job, and he has no time to waste. Let me hear about his time. His time is his time. My time is my time. And I don't need freaks. And it's the first freak show. We called this show Ken Vaughan's Freak Show from the moment we started, and we didn't know Tim was going to call me a freak in the text. Isn't that amazing? It just makes it the Ken Vaughan's Freak Show. My time is my time, and I don't need freaks like you dictating shit to me. Enjoy.
Sounds like Walter Cronkite.
What's the other text?
Sounds like Walter Cronkite
There's
in there.
it's
the
all
same?
one long thing. You can look at it if you want.
No, I'm good.
Sounds like Walter Cronkite in there. My time is my time is nobody else's.
What did Dan Rather used to say? Peace out or something? No, that's Ryan something. Ryan Fitzpatrick. Oh my God. So what do you think of that? I'll relay your responses. You can talk in the headphones.
Oh, it's too loud. It's too loud. I'll get one.
All right.
It's too loud.
I don't want to hear this loud noise in your head. Oh my God. Oh God.
So anyway, let's talk. Once again, we have another episode here of whatever it is we're doing.
Back to you, Richard. Let's listen to some
We're
music.
freelancing.
Yeah, let's.
Remember the days when we used to get here at 7:00, and
Yeah.
and we'd get a phone call around 7:30 saying I'm gonna be late.
Yeah. Every week. I mean, what do you mean? Every week ever?
Well, I know. I mean, that's why we started coming later because there was
Yeah.
no Tim Saracki.
Well, what happened was he came at 7:45 and he was, itching to go, and we weren't here yet for the first time. We gave him a taste of his own medicine. He's like, "What? I always come 45 minutes late, and now they're not here." So, but I think you want to say something, Richard? Go ahead, Richard.
I can't think of anything at the moment.
Are you sure?
Do you have no opinion on that?
Well, you had an opinion where he might be what he might be doing.
Oh, I can't talk about that on the air.
Why not?
Talk about that.
Because I don't want to die. What do you mean, why not?
What are you talking about? How could you
a
die?
deep,
I don't
dark,
want to be
dirty
beaten
secret
up
here.
by Tim, that's
Ooh.
why. All right, back to Richard. Let's
We
play.
got our
now
deep, dark,
back to
dirty
Richard.
secrets
Here's what I
here.
could say. It's interesting that the person I sent the birthday card to felt that I had violated his boundary.
And we were talking about it right before this
We're
happened.
talking about boundaries, and now Tim feels his boundary has been violated.
Yeah. And again, I did it accidentally because I had no idea. When I told Susan, when I asked Susan K. Taylor where the fuck's the money coming from, she laughed and smiled, and I had no idea it was a problem. So I just kept asking her over and over without getting an answer. And at the end of the show, she said, "You've gone past the boundaries, and I hate your guts. I'll never talk to you after." And this time, I had no idea that was over the boundaries. I'm thinking, you know what things I've said to Tim in his life? I've said the most horrible things to him for 30 years. And I say to him tonight, "What is so important you're doing on Saturday nights you can't tell us about? What is it?" That was the boundary. There's something magical happening on Saturday nights, obviously, we didn't know about.
Yeah,
you-
this goes back to something
You
you said.
told
But how would I
him-
know?
You told him that he didn't have a life, which
Well, he doesn't.
well, I know, but
He doesn't have a life,
apparently
so
that's
he thinks he has a
sore
life.
spot.
Right, a sore spot that he has no job in
Well,
the
now
life.
you're saying it on TV, so that's not even
That's
no
the
better
worst.
now.
No, that's no better now.
That's gonna
Thanks,
make him feel
Paula.
so much happier.
I wasn't
now.
going to bring that up. Thanks a lot.
If you're gonna beat anybody up, beat me up, okay? Just
Right. Don't beat me up. No.
drag up.
Don't
Beat
kill the
me up.
messenger.
Or as the music group 53 Days would say, "Don't push me down," you know.
Yeah, they would say that. Yes?
Now, you also said with Suzanne, you didn't even know the boundary was there.
No.
And with Tim, you didn't know the boundary.
No, and I don't think you knew with the guy this week that the boundary was there from your little card you
And
sent him.
that brings up something that Paula said to me in the office. We were talking. She said,
How are we doing on time?
if you got to
I
measure
don't know.
everything you say by, gee, I wonder if this is crossing a boundary. What fun would a
8
friendship
minutes.
What's the point? All right. You got a good point there, Richard and Paula. Thanks for being on. And now back to Richard Jazuski. Go ahead.
Ah, yes. So anyway, my time is your time, and our
I
time
was
is their
curious
time.
too. I was curious too, but
By the way, you said there was 2 texts that he typed in. Did you read both of them, or just
Yeah,
one?
back to you, man. Let's not talk
Okay.
about that anymore.
Okay.
Back to you.
So anyway, getting back to the music, I've been a supporter of the Buffalo music scene for all these years, since early 1990s, and mostly on this radio station here in WBNY. And it's got me involved in doing a lot of things, like getting involved with a thing called a Radio Access Committee in the early 1990s. We made a 60-page report confirming the findings of a newspaper person, Anthony Valenti, who was the Buffalo News writer at the time, and that's how I got majority of the time involved in the Buffalo music scene. And from that point, once I tuned into WBNY and heard the local show on Thursday nights at 7 p.m. to 11 p.m., well, it wasn't at 7 p.m. all the time. But anyway, once I started hearing it, Rich Wall, who was a disc jockey at that time from Buffalo State College, he mentioned the fact that the musicians were from Buffalo, New York. From that point on, I've listened to that station only, and I've never listened to anything else ever since then. And I don't dare because the
No,
signals...
you have listened to other stations because you mentioned earlier in the show that you heard them on the air pretending they're supporting local music, and then they really don't. You already said that earlier.
Well, yeah, and they
So you
don't.
do listen to other stations.
Well, not only because I'm forced to at times. Because when I go to
But
a
I'm
place
just saying
like
you do, so don't say you don't. Okay.
Well,
That was ridiculous because you said you don't and you do.
well, I don't
you already
listen
mentioned earlier.
Personally, I don't listen to them. I don't listen to them at all.
What does that mean? You already commented on
When
it
I go
earlier.
home, when I go to my apartment, when I live in my apartment, I have the station set over here,
Right.
and I never turn it off for anything because first off, it's a weak signal to begin with, and if I dare change the channel for any particular reason, I would spend the next 10 weeks fighting to get my
So it's
signal back.
it's actually about keeping the signal rather than it's the best station.
Well, yeah. Basically.
Wow.
But
I've just ripped the lid off Richard Jazuski because your whole life is about BNY is everything, and it's only because you're so far from Buff State, you keep the station on just because you might lose it. Wow.
And also
It's
because
amazing.
But also because they have the music scene from Buffalo and Western
I
musicians.
know, but the first reason is the real reason because of the reception. Oh my God, I never.
Well,
would have
yeah,
thought that. Kenny, you're shocked? No, he doesn't care. Wow, I never would have thought that, Richard. It's like you coming out of the closet. It's amazing.
Well, I don't, like I said, I don't listen to those stations. I
No.
mean, not voluntarily anyway.
You do, but you don't.
Not voluntarily. I
Like,
don't
you
bother
just
with it.
Catch it when you're on the street or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I would hear.
And they always pretend they're supporting local music when they're not.
They don't, because they, like I said, their idea of supporting it was like a Thursday at the Square. They'd have one of their disc jockeys come on the stage and go, "Hello, Buffalo."
I hate that.
That's all the support they give. And then a second later, they start announcing their shows. They go, "Hey, we got this great band that's not from Buffalo," and the crowd is screaming and yelling. They're going.
I got something for you, Richard.
What's that?
You asked me for this, and I researched it for you.
Okay.
Because I love you. I love you, Richard. You love me?
I hear the voice of doom coming down.
Do you love me?
I hear the voice of doom.
Do you love me?
We're too bad we don't have any sound
Depends
effects
on what's
over
on
here.
that sheet of paper.
Yeah, really.
Do you love me or not?
What is the mystery? What is this? What is the?
It's not a mystery. You told me to research something for you. You don't remember this?
Yeah.
Then why, if you remember, what is it? What am I talking about here?
Now I forgot what to do.
Well, you remember I said I was going to research something for you, right?
Yeah.
So what you should just say you love me then. Go ahead. Say you love me. Come out of the closet and say you love me. Come on. You live near Cathode Ray.
Twist,
Come on.
Come on, twist. All
right, you don't have to love me.
Let's see you get out of this hammerlock. Come on. Come on, let's see you get out of this hammerlock. Come on.
Okay. Anyways, there's you like the Jazzabelles, and you got the Jazzabelles song "Can't Forget" lined up here next.
Yeah.
And I told you that Kathy from the Jazzabelles has a song.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I remember
in a
that
major
now.
motion picture from the guy who directed George Clooney, the guy who directed Jack Nicholson. Major motion picture.
Nebraska?
It was up. Nebraska was up for Academy Awards.
Oh, yeah?
Last year, and he called up. He found the song that Buck Quigley and Kathy did, and that Buck wrote and Kathy sang. And he liked it so much that he had his people contact them and let them put them in the movie. And you told me, let's find out what the song is, and I want to know what song it is, and blah blah blah. So
Yeah.
I found it out because I care about you. I love you.
Okay.
And I found it out, and it's called "If You Love an Angel," which is kind of appropriate because you, Richard, are an angel, and I love you. And "If You Love an Angel," and written by Buck Quigley, of course, Michael Quigley, and performed by Kathy, and it's Zuma Katerna Records. So there you go,
Okay,
buddy.
thank you.
So
Appreciate
yeah,
that.
exactly. You told me to research, and I did. So
Well,
Ken, I want an apology from you.
Oh, you're the best.
Yeah, you are the best. Thanks.
So now we got to
Appreciate that.
retool this show from now on. Okay. So anyway, then why do you love Buffalo? Because of the cold weather, you said?
And the music, and the local music, and the music scene from
And
Buffalo.
do you like national music or just local music?
Well, only the national local artists like the Goo Goo Dolls,
And Ani DeFranco.
Beach. Not the.
So since they came from here, they're all
Damn,
right.
I almost said the blasphemous word, Beach Boys.
Yeah, they're not from Buffalo. They're not from Buffalo.
Yeah.
Rick James, you like that? Because he's from Buffalo?
Well, I like Rick James too, in a small part because I listened to him most of the time when I was living in Miami.
But he's still from Buffalo, you know?
Yeah.
What do you think of my great band with Pam Swartz, Bad and Ronald? You must love my music, right?
Well, you got me in a corner here. 'Cause if I had to be totally frank about it, I'd have to say it could be a little more uplifting.
But it's supposed to be downbeat. I'm a downbeat kind of guy. I hate existence.
I used to be a downbeat kind of guy. It almost killed me. I learned a long time. I found a better way of being upbeat.
And do you like Pam Swartz's other music?
Well, it's very experimental, and there's a lot of she does a lot of good things with her music.
Is it upbeat enough for you?
At times, yeah.
So she's good enough, but not me.
I've heard,
That's why I didn't make your wedding.
I've gone to a few of your shows, and
Now we know why you didn't come to my
Make no
wedding
wedding.
because we were one of the people on the bill. It makes sense now.
Well, because
if I told you Pam Swartz solo was playing, then he would have been there. I stupidly said we were playing.
There you go.
I.e. me.
Tell you what.
I'm not too sure what I would have heard. I'm not too sure what I would have heard if I went to your wedding because based on the kind of style of music you play, you know.
Well, I'll tell you. I told you when I saw you. I told you when I saw you in the street in Chippewa. I told you John and Mary and the Valkyries were playing that night. I told you Tina Peel was doing Yoko Ono that night. I told you Michelle Weber was playing. I told you Mark Norris from Girl Pope was playing. Ain't this ringing a bell as good? Mark Norris from Girl Pope, John and Mary and the Valkyries.
I'm still trying to remember that.
It doesn't fucking
the time
matter.
of year.
You don't. I told you spring, motherfucker.
What time? What year?
13.
13.
Okay, so let's listen to Little Jazzabelles now.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, here we go.
This is where people. This song here.
We can't forget where we come.
Oh, sorry, you want to talk about it
We
first?
can't forget where
Go ahead. What is it?
Well,
Can't
you know,
forget.
like I said, songs like this that it should be playing on these radio stations in Buffalo.
I know.
They keep
like the
saying,
Edge and 97 Rock and WGR Radio, Sports Radio, talk
The Edge
show.
of Wetness, The Edge of Wetness,
Be
97
playing on
Crocker
ESPN.
Crap,
All right,
97
here we
Crocker Crap,
Can't forget. Here we go.
Kiss My Ass, 98.5.
forget where we come from.
We don't have any time for Johnny Revolti. I'm sorry.
Yeah. They keep saying that what irritates me the most is they keep saying that their listening audience won't like this music. And the fact of the matter is they
won't.
Well, because they don't. Why?
Because people are stupid, just the way people are stupid to eat chewy chocolate chip cookies. Same thing. People are morons.
Yeah. Right.
I love the Jezebels. I love both of them. I love Margie and Linda. They're both great.
Margie and Linda.
That's Jezebels, Margie and Linda.
I thought it was Kathy and Calissa.
Whatever. What's in a name, right?
But I'm glad to hear about that song for getting on Nebraska because, the movie Nebraska, because at least there's...
Okay, bye.